Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is another Fun Fold Friday. Every week I bring you a new fun fold, and should I ever run out, I will just repeat the fun fold using new products, which is always fun. So today I wanted to show you this card. This card I actually received as a birthday card, and the person who sent it to me didn't even write inside. She left it so that I could send it on to somebody else. And I absolutely love this rose flower. This stamp set is now retired, and it's too bad I didn't buy it because look how pretty that is. I'm a big fan of monochromatic cards. That means cards where everything is the same color, typically white and another color, or maybe very vanilla and another color. And so this one is monochromatic, and it's an easel card. So let me just show you how it works. This is what it looks like when it's flat. And then the recipient can then stand it up and tuck the top piece underneath the label there. And then it sits up. Isn't that cute? Very, very cute card. And today I want to show you how to make it. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to, it's still May. We're very fast approaching the end of May, and I wanted to take advantage and I still show you the beautiful Hydrangea Hill suite that is in our mini catalog, our 2021 mini catalog that came out in January. And you can still purchase this suite. And I want you to particularly pay attention to the designer series paper, simply because the stamp set and the coordinating dies are carrying forward. They're in our new annual catalog. So you can still get this set, but you can no longer get the paper. And you can no longer get this other acetate paper. The pearls are still available in the annual catalog, but these two items are no longer available. And I don't think this ribbon is available either. So if you like hydrangeas and you want to have a very coordinated look, you might want to think about quickly looking at this in the mini catalog. And if you go to my online store and look up Hydrangea Haven, you will find it there. And the paper, of course, and these items are still available. So you can go ahead and purchase that. Or you can give me a call or text me and I will quickly purchase it for you. So that's what I'm using today, the papers. And I've already pre-cut everything. And I decided not to do much stamping today. The only stamping I'm going to be doing is the greeting. And I chose to use the greeting, this wishing you your best, no, happy birthday to you, and inside I'm going to put wishing you your best year yet. So inside outside greetings, and this is called the best year stamp set, and this is available in our annual catalog. So it's got some good kind of all-round greetings. We've even got one for Father's Day coming up soon, some congratulations just by saying you did it, some kind of party, hip hip hooray, thank you for all that you are. There's your happy Father's Day. So you've got an inside outside greeting for Father's Day as well. And you've also got thank you for all that you are and every thoughtful thing that you do. So there's some great inside outside greetings for this set that should serve you well for a lot of your greeting cards. So that's best year. And yeah, that is, here's the new annual catalog. So you will find that on page 103, okay, in the annual catalog. All right, so let's get started with our card. Now, this hydrangea paper, and I can show you because I have a sampler. I'm now creating these wonderful samplers to help display the papers and the colors. So here's the Hydrangea Haven, or Hydrangea Hill DSP. And so this shows you both sides of the paper. So there's patterns on one side and a little bit more subdued patterns on the other side. Beautiful, beautiful papers. And look at all of the colors. Okay, you've got your two shades of purple, your gorgeous grape and your Highland heather. You've still got your Rococo Rose, which retired, but if you have it, then that's great. You've got you've got 2 shades of green. You've got your Mossy Meadow and your Old Olive. And you've got this Misty Moonlight, and you've got the Seaside Spray that it was also a retired color. So if you still have these old retired colors, then you're good to go. Otherwise, just concentrate on the current colors. But look how beautiful these papers are. I just love them. So that, if you want them, you'll have to get them now. Okay, so I took advantage of one of the papers that actually has this beautiful, beautiful hydrangeas in full bloom. And so I'm going to actually use that for the front of my card rather than stamping an actual hydrangea. So I'm really letting the designer series paper be the focal point of this whole card. This piece is going to be for the inside. And then I've got these 2 other pieces of designer series paper that I'm going to put on the card. Okay, first thing I need to show you is the scoring measurements. So let me pull out my paper trimmer here. So you start with a 4 1/4 by 11 sheet of paper, and the first thing that you want to do is to score it in half at 5 1/2. So I'm going to go to 5 1/2 here. Make sure I use my scoring blade, which is the gray one, the light gray one, versus the cutting blade. Okay, and now I'm going to simply flip this over. I'm going to put it back in my trimmer, and then I'm going to move over to 2 3/4. So 2 3/4 right here, and I'm going to score it again. This is creating the easel piece. Okay, and that's all we need to do on that. So let me just put that away. All right, so the first thing I'll do is I'll find my mountain fold here on the center score line, and I'm going to fold that over. And I'm going to get out my bone folder and just burnish that fold. Okay, and then what I want to do is, this becomes, here, let me show you on this card, this becomes the evil part. So the 5 1/2 piece here is the I guess the top of the card. So orient it this way. Okay, and then you've got this piece, and then what you want to do is you want to fold this piece back. Okay, so you're kind of making, it looks like a zigzag like that. Okay, so this is your Z fold here, see, like that. Okay, and then I have this piece that's going to go on the front, and then I decided to do this piece on the inside. Now on this card, what this other person did was they only did a little bit of DSP in here. I've decided to do a full layer. So this measures 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to glue that right inside the back of that card. And then I have this piece of of Whisper White or Basic White, and I'm going to put that on the inside, but I might trim this down on the side here. I think I'll make it a little bit more narrow so that we can actually see the designer series paper in there. So I will adjust the measurements for this. So this is 4 across. So I'm going to make it at 3 3/4 here. And then we will be able to see the designer series paper behind it. So I'll adjust these measurements in my blog post. Yeah, see, I want to see the DSP behind that. So I think that's a little bit better. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is glue this in. So let me just drag out my number one tool that is always going for a walk. Here it is my silicone craft sheet. I love to use this when I am gluing. And I'm going to pull out my tape, and I'm going to just gently drag it along. You don't have to press hard. Gently drag it along, and then I go back and then push. Okay, that's how I use my tape. I struggled with this tape in the beginning, but now I I love it because I can work it better. All right, so let's put this in here like this. And then I'll want to actually do, I might do an inside greeting. So on the outside, I'm doing happy birthday to you. And I'm going to put wishing you your best year yet on the inside. So let's grab that one. There it is. And I think I'm going to do it in, oh, there's a stray hair on there. I think I'm going to do that in this beautiful Misty Moonlight. So I'm going to pull down the Misty Moonlight ink and open that up and gently tap my stamp. You don't want to press down. Okay, and then I'm going to get this centered as best I can. There we go. And I'm going to let that dry before I stick it inside my card. So I'm going to set that aside for a moment. Now let's work on the front. The front panel, I decided to cut another piece of the DSP, and I'm going to put that on the front of my card. Right in here. So these two pieces are 4 inches in width. All right, now this is probably dry, so I can put this on the inside of the card. Just get rid of these stray, sometimes there's these little stray bits if your blade isn't really sharp. I haven't yet changed the blade on my trimmer since I got it, so it's getting worn now, I think. Okay, so that gets hidden when you kind of look at the card flat like that, you see? They'll only see it once they open the card. Now what else helps to hide it is this is a piece that's going to go on the front panel here. So I've got this piece of DSP that I'm going to glue onto this Highland Heather piece. I decided to change up the color. Instead of using the Misty Moonlight, I thought I would bring in a bit of the purple. Look how beautiful that is. It's just gorgeous. Okay, so this is going to be on the front of my card, like so. Okay, now this is glued, if we bring this one back again, this is glued right to the bottom of the card, right to the bottom of the card. And remember, you're only going to put tape on half of it, the bottom half. Okay, so I might turn this over and just see where I'm going to put my tape. So I'm going to put a bit of tape at the bottom. And I'll put a bit of tape right here, okay? And then this is going to go on the bottom. So I'm just going to eyeball the centering part. And stick that on like that. Okay, so there is my easel. Okay, now the next step is to get this to attach to the back of the card. So I've decided to use this happy birthday to you, and I'm bringing out a punch. You want a punch that is as wide as the greeting. And let me just grab, I think this will fit in here. I'm going to show you a trick when you're working with smaller bits of paper. Yeah, that will work. Okay, so I'm going to use the same color, the Misty Moonlight. It's a nice deviation from black. And I will stamp this in the middle. Okay, and I'm going to close up my ink pad because I tend to have a few little accidents with it. Okay, now I'm going to show you a little trick. So when you trim your papers, I always end up with little strips, narrow strips of cardstock. And so when you're trying to position this into a punch, so here's an example, and I'm using a small piece of paper, it's hard for me to, you know, kind of position it in there. Now what you can do is I take a tiny bit of glue, just a tiny little bit of glue on the strip, and then I will attach this to the top of this card. So now I have a little bit of a handle here, and then I can slide this into my punch, and I always use the back side of the punch so I can see to center the greeting. And so let's see, that looks pretty good right like that, and then I can punch it. Okay, so that little handle trick, and then I'll just tear that off and I can use that handle again. So what I want to do is I'm going to be putting this on some dimensionals to hold that up there. Now I thought that I would maybe stamp a little something on here, and I was going to bring out, hang on just a sec, I'm going to bring in the stamp set. Here's the stamp set, and I thought maybe I would just stamp a little pattern. These little pieces have actually been cut out. Maybe I'll use these instead. These were cut out of one of the dies. So what I could do is, rather than stamp something, I could just glue a few of those on there since I already have them. So here are the dies. So these came from this long die here, and I had done this for another project. I'll just show you what I have here. Actually, I don't have the card, but I'm going to show you this die here. It cuts out these gorgeous hydrangea heads. See, these I've already done, and I watercolored these, so you get the different shading of purple. Aren't they absolute gorgeous? And then you just poke through the back and lift up the petals. Look at them, aren't they fun? Oh, I just love these. I made a lot of hydrangea cards with this set already, but I was practicing my watercoloring and I ended up with these. So these will go on a card. And then of course I've already had tied this cute little bow, which I might use on this card too. There's a cute little label in here. There's a beautiful stem and a whole big hydrangea that you can stamp and cut out. Just a great, if you love hydrangeas, I highly recommend this set. I grow hydrangeas. I have about 4 actually, and they're all in pots, and they're just, some of them are just huge, and they're doing really, really well in pots. You do have to watch your watering though. Let me see, where does this open up? So let's just throw some of these onto my desk, and we'll use some of these, and maybe we'll just decorate this a little bit. So let me get out my Tombow glue, and I'm going to actually use, I like to use tweezers, and these have a right and a wrong side to them, so be careful when you're gluing them. There is actually embossing on these little flowers. So I'm just going to pull out my Tombow glue and get that started, just a tiny dab. And I'll just start putting some flowers on here. See, that's the back. I'm going to overlap them a little bit. Oops. Then I've got a little blue one. I've got I cut a whole bunch out of different colors. You might as well, when you've got your die set out, you might as well cut out a bunch of stuff ready for your next card. Then you've got a real quick thing to do. Okay, so there are my 3 little hydrangeas. And then the other thing I might do is I'm going to add some tiny pearls on here. So let's grab my pokey tool here, and I'm just going to grab some tiny pearls. For these. I'm going to show you a little trick. I always keep a pencil. It's one of the tools I use with a brand new eraser. I haven't used that eraser at all. And I use the end of that to push down any of my embellishments, that my self-adhesive embellishments. They have a bit of glue on the back. And I just push them down to make sure that they're nice and secure on there. Okay, so now on the back of that, I'm going to grab a couple of dimensionals, and I want to put them along the middle. You want to keep the bottom free because you're going to tuck that card underneath it. So I can put them right here. Pop these up. So if I bring in the other card, it's pretty well at the top of the card, and then that's just going to slide underneath it. Okay. So let's pull this card here, and let me see. I'm going to just lift it up and see. Yeah, I'm just going to put it just a tiny bit below the paper at the top. Right like that. Okay, happy birthday to you. All right, and there's your card. Isn't that fun? Pretty simple to make. And it's got a beautiful display on there. Now, if you wanted to, you could take some of these cutouts here and you could add them to the flowers. I would need to cut some out of this. This is the Rococo Rose, but I've got some flowers that I could add onto the purple flowers. So I might do that once the video is over. So you can add some dimension on here if you wanted to. We've got these gorgeous little gold bumblebees in the annual catalog. You could put a couple little bumblebees on here if you wanted to, and you could dress it up however you want. But there you go. There is, and this is an area for you to sign your name. So there is your fun fold for today. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you will go and make one. So remember, below this video, there will be a link to my blog post with all of the cutting and scoring measurements, and a link back to this video as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye for now.